Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. My name is Amin Raina. I'm an investment coach here at Sage Investors, and this is episode 41. Today I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle. Usually I like to babble about various observations I see in the market and in the stock market, and babble about that and offer my take. But today's a little bit different. Actually, it's a pretty exciting day in the sense that I wanted to share with you. So it's going to have a little bit more of an infomercially flavor to it. So I thought I'd skew away from it, but it's something I really want to share with you, something I've developed, and I think I'm ready to share with the masses. And it involves a set of online courses that I've created called Everyday Investing. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, like if you know a little bit about my practice, and if you've listened to any of my previous episodes here on Periscope, my practice really centers around teaching and helping people and mentoring people make better investment decisions. So a lot of the work that I do involves teaching people how to invest in stocks, how to buy and sell stocks. And I've developed, over the years, I've developed this kind of a series of learning modules that covers various components and various competencies that have to go into making a proper investment decision. And I've kind of delivered it old school style. I literally would sit down with people or groups of people, either in a classroom, in a boardroom, in a coffee shop, or I'd kind of do it remotely on a phone or through Google Hangouts, and that's kind of how I delivered it. And I've always been kind of like looking for a method of kind of leveraging some more better technology to kind of deliver these courses and these learning modules to a greater population of people and a greater mass of people. And it seems like the technology's out there now to do that. So what I've done over it's been a big project of mine in the last 6 to 8 months, is to actually take all of these learning modules that I've developed and kind of put them online and in a format that's really kind of user-friendly, make it easier for you to understand, and that you can capture on a variety of media. You can do this on a tablet, you can do this on your phone, you can do it through, I've set it up so you can actually just listen to the podcast version of my courses. So it's a pretty cool time and a pretty exciting time that I've done here. And so the program's called Everyday Investing. And the reason why I call it Everyday Investing is because one of the things I'm trying to do and trying to eliminate when I work with people about investing is take the fear factor out of it. People are so freaked out about investing, basically because of the math, just the fear of losing money, all the jargon that's out there, all the numbers, information. It can get really overwhelming. And so the premise of my courses and the modules is to kind of take out a lot of that complexity and break things down to really what are the core fundamentals that you need to understand about investing, and how do you go about making a proper investment decision. And doing that, leveraging the information that's around us. Like, we live in a time now where information is everywhere, but there's so much of it and there's so much noise. You have blogs, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have 24/7 business media. Like, it's so much information to process. So how do I deal with all that? So that's the whole premise of Everyday Investing, is to kind of help you filter out and really focus on what are the core information drivers out there that are going to help you make better investment decisions, and lay that over and leverage that with some basic fundamental concepts about investing, which often get overlooked by most people. So what do you learn? So the cool thing is I deliver it. I teach everything. So, and of course, you're going to see a lot of me. You're going to hear a lot of me. That's all you're going to hear is me. And so what am I going to teach you? What would I teach you in this program? Well, the program consists of 8 modules. It's a total of 17 hours. So if you were to put it in Netflix terms, like if you could literally binge watch this whole program in a weekend, you could do this whole program in a weekend. So instead of binge watching, Orange is the New Black, binge watch Everyday Investing and learn something from it, and hopefully be able to empower yourself to make more money to meet your financial goals. Look at it that way. So what do you learn? What the heck am I going to teach you? Well, first thing I'm going to teach you is I'm going to give you lay a foundation of just really how do we create wealth in our society. We live in a capitalist society, and I think a lot of people really just take it for granted. We just assume companies like Apple and Starbucks just happen. They just exist. Well, they don't. There's a process. And so the more you can understand that process, how companies grow and evolve and regenerate themselves, the more you're going to have an understanding about when you start looking at stocks, that you're going to have a really good underlying foundation there. So we spent a little bit of time doing that. And the cool thing about it actually is if you're hesitant about signing up for the program, the first module is actually free. I really believe in it so much that I gave away, it's there you can just download it right there for that. So So that's the foundation for the program. Next thing you're going to do, I'm going to teach you how to read and interpret financial statements. Those are kind of like our blueprints, our maps to really determining whether a company is truly a wealth-creating company and worth investing in. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about financial statements, but not in a sort of an accounting, like university kind of way, but more in a practical, real-life term kind of way. So we do a lot of it like real-life examples kind of thing. So we'll teach you about financial statements. Then we're going to teach you about economics, and not just like every like random academia economics, but really the core things. You hear things on TV like interest rates, currencies, the dollar went up yesterday. Well, what does that mean in terms of an investing perspective? You hear about unemployment, inflation. Like these are kind of the buzzwords that are surround us that we come into contact every day. But what do they mean? So I'm going to teach you a little bit about that. Give you some tools and concepts to help you understand some of the external environment, some of those variables out there. We're going to learn about risk. If you're going to buy and sell stocks. Stocks are one of the riskiest assets out there. They're very risky. There's a high probability that you could lose all your money. So you need to understand how do we measure risk? How do we determine if a company is risky and really worth investing in? At the same time, one of the things, occupational hazards of investing is that you're going to lose money. And the best investors out there have a strategy in how to manage the losses. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about that. How do you manage your losses? How do you control your losses? Critical skill set to have when you're investing. I'm going to teach you how to value a company. Just basically answer a question is, is Apple cheap or expensive? Is it worth buying right now, or should I wait for it to fall to a more appropriate price? Teach you how to value a stock. And I'm going to take all these elements that we're talking about here and put them into a framework. If you've been following my previous episodes, when I analyze companies, I basically it comes down to me answering 8 fundamental questions. So I'm going to teach you how to answer those 8 fundamental questions, and when you're evaluating a stock that I use every time I evaluate a stock. I'm going to teach you about some investment products, like there's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. There's different kinds of like Roth IRAs if you're in the U.S., 401ks, RSPs in Canada, RESPs. What do all these things mean, and how appropriate are these investment products for my personal investment portfolio? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to teach you all of that. Give you all the goods on it. And then finally, one of the most important, to me, the secret sauce of investing is really coming to understand about your behaviors. Our behaviors towards money and our behaviors towards how we make investment decisions. I can teach you everything about income statements and balance sheets. I can teach you how to calculate financial ratios. I can teach you how to calculate the value of a company, but it means jack, because a lot of times what screws us over in how we make investment decisions isn't the mechanics of it, it's the emotional side of it and coming to grips with emotions. And a lot of times emotions cloud our judgment royally when we're making investment decisions. So I'm going to teach you to be more aware of various biases that all of us are inherit when we face and make investment decisions, when we're interacting with people, when we're interacting with society, and we're trying to figure out whether we want to buy or sell a stock. It really screws us up. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about that. It's to me, I'm really excited, because to me, this program really encompasses all the real core competencies you really need to have and really need to develop to really make better investment decisions. And so I really feel I'm really jacked right now, because I really feel strongly that if you invested the time and the effort to go through my program, you're probably going to yield at least a lot more confidence. You're going to be more empowered in how you make an investment, because you're going to be educated. And at the same time, I think you're going to be more successful. I think you're going to make damn good investment decisions. So it's something I really encourage you to check out. It's on my website, www.sageinvestors.ca. Just click on, there's a button called courses. It'll get you going and get you onto our various portals. Now the cool thing about it, as I said, a lot of things is you can use it, you can interact with it through various media, tablets. You can do the whole program on your phone. I've actually converted it into a podcast format, so you can just download the podcast versions of each of the modules and just listen to it in your car, subway, listen to it at work. It's a pretty easy listen, I think. So the flexibility is there for you to do it on your terms, and it's very on demand. The other thing about it is cool. The thing is it consists of 8 modules, but there's you don't have to necessarily take all 8 modules. If you're just starting out as an investor, I would recommend you take all 8 modules, start from module 1 and work to module 8, because there's a bit of a building blocks that go onto it. But there's a lot of people that I work with who have been investing for like 30, 40 years, or really seasoned investors who really don't need to know a lot of this stuff, but maybe want to have a refresher on certain topics like valuing a company, risk management, emotional side of investing, cognitive behaviors. And so there's flexibility. You can just register for individual modules in the program. So from a cost perspective, it's a lot cheaper doing that way. And so there's a lot of flexibility. That's the thing I love about this, is I built a lot of flexibility into the program. So you can pick and choose and cherry pick whatever works for you in that sense. There's also, for each of the modules, there's also a set of work groups. I've created 2. So if you have questions about certain topics, or something that just didn't jive with you, and you went back, you listened to it, and you went back and it didn't work, you can just pop a question in one of the focus groups, in the news groups, and either me or somebody else maybe who's taking the course may be able to fill in the blanks for you. So that's part of it. What I'm trying to do is create a little bit of a community aspect to it, where people can share different ideas with respect to the learnings and their experiences in how investing. Because that's really one of my visions for Sage Investors, is to create sort of this army of Sage Investors, an army of empowered, educated, really thoughtful type people who are really, who can spread the word and help educate other people in making better investment decisions. So I'm really jacked about it. It's everyday investing. That's what I call it. It's nothing, to me, it's just everyday investing. It's just picking cues that we see in our daily lives and leveraging those cues to help us make investment decisions. So I really invite you to check it out. It's on my website. And if you have any questions about it, there's an FAQ on it. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. If you have any, you can just direct DM me through Twitter, or just send me an email through my website, sageinvestors.ca, and I'll be happy to answer, fill in the blanks for you. So enough with the, that's it for the infomercial. I just, again, really wanted to share this really kind of new stage that I'm kind of taking my my practice into, just kind of getting out more into the virtual side of it. So I thought I'd share it with you, and I invite you to check it out. So that's about it. So we'll get back to more observational stuff in subsequent episodes. Actually, I have quite a few topics that I really want to get into, some involving robo-advisors, some involving some personal investment decisions that I've made in terms of buying a few stocks that I've bought over the last month or so, and just some overall interesting debates that are going out in the market with respect to this whole ETF concept. And there's links between ETFs and Marxism. I don't know if you've heard any of some of these debates out there, but I'll be happy to share with you in future episodes. So that's another episode of Stock Talk. My name is Amin Reina of Sage Investors, and we'll catch you again another time.